Hi, my name is Carolyn, and I work with Greene County Public Library, and I work in Spark Place. Today, we are going to make words on magnets. So we're either going to handwrite the words or put the words in the computer and print them. And then what we're going to do with them is make poems. So the first thing I did is I went to the bookshelves and I got a book on poetry. So I got Falling Up by Shel Silverstein. So this gave me some words to start with. At the end, I'm going to show you there's a list of words of 3,000 words. So it's a lot of words, but it has some really good ideas in it. And that's why I'll show it to you. And then I'll share the link as to where you can get it. But let's get started with making these words. So what is it you're going to need? You'll need, like we saw here, you're going to need a pair of scissors. So make sure that whoever your caregiver is knows that you're going to be using scissors and that it's okay. You'll either need a pencil or a pen, or if you have a fun bucket of these colored markers, you can use them too. Or you can print them. Like you can see some of these have been printed on the computer. So you can do it that way too. So here's a sheet of some of the words that I've printed on the computer. You can see I started small and then I got really big. So the words don't need to be the same size. So if you're handwriting them, you don't have to worry about whether they're all the same size or not. What else will you need? You need a glue stick, but if you don't have any of the magnetic stuff, don't worry about it. Just write the words down or print the words out and then use tape to hang them up on a surface. Make sure you check with your caregiver that they tell you a surface that you can put the tape on. Don't just stick the tape on anything because we don't want to damage anything. And the magnets can go on the refrigerator or maybe the front of the dishwasher. What else will you need? Magnets. So these are refrigerator magnets. You can ask everybody you know if they've got one that they could share with you. So this is a frame. And here's another one that is a frame. This was on the inside of it. So people have these on their refrigerators. They're really pliable and bendable and super easy to cut, which is what we're going to be doing with them. If you want, you can buy this material. It'll all be black. It won't have anything printed on it. And you can pick it up at Walmart or Michael's or Joann's, other craft type stores. Amazon, I'm sure, has it. So it comes in flat sheets like these are, flat sheets. Or you can buy it in a roll. And then one side, it's narrow, and one side of it has an adhesive on it. And you just peel the paper off, and now you have a sticky surface to stick your words on. Then you won't need the glue stick. But that's it. That's all it's going to take. So let's get started. I'm going to try to bring you down to my work surface. And then you can see what it is that I'm doing. Hopefully, you'll still be able to hear. But let's get started with the book. So I wasn't sure where to start. So I thought, let me read somebody else's poems. So as I said, I use Shel Silverstein, Falling Up. And the poem I use is Falling Up. Hopefully you can see that. And the words that I chose out of this poem, what am I doing? The words I chose out of this poem were up over the town. So those are the words that we're going to write or print. Okay, so as I showed you in the beginning, I have them, well, this is 2 pieces of paper. I have them printed right there, up over the town. But what we're going to do is we're going to write them. So you can use any writing utensil you want. I am going to use markers. So I'm going to start with the word up. And then we want the word over. And you don't have to print in capital letters. You can print in lowercase too. Up over the, and the last word is town. One of the things I do like about that list with 3,000 words is it shows some of the words that you're going to want to have more than one magnet of. And I would say that the is definitely one of those words. So there's a lot of ways this can be done. We'll first start with cutting out the words. So I'm going to cut out up. And I'm leaving a lot of white space around this. So an example of that would be 1. You can see that that has a lot of white space. So we could actually trim this down so that it looks more like this one. And it doesn't have as much white space on it. And then we have more magnet. This has a magnet on the back of it. And if we were to trim it down, we'd have more magnet that we could use for another word. But it doesn't matter. You can do it either way. So we've got the word up. And I have some scraps over here. So I'm going to use one of these. When you're using scraps of magnet. So you can see that the front of this magnet has the pattern of the refrigerator magnet. It doesn't matter which way your magnet picture is, if there's a picture on it, because you're going to cover it up with your word. But the black side or the back side is the side that you want to put on the refrigerator. So when you're working with your glue stick, you want to work on like a scrap piece of paper so that you don't get glue on your tabletop or your work surface. You want to keep the glue on the paper, and then you can throw the paper out when you're done. So this is obviously much larger than this, but I'm going to put it on, and then I'm going to keep looking at the word up, and I'm going to trim, and I can feel that I'm hitting my magnet. So the glue stick allows you to kind of mush that magnet around, and I'm going to trim the word up. So there's up, and there's the magnet. And you can see the paper is much larger than the magnet, but it still does work. It still does stay on. So it doesn't matter if the paper is larger than the magnet, or here is the letter Y. And you can see that that has the same pattern as the magnet, and that the letter is bigger than the magnet. So the paper can be bigger than the magnet, or the magnet can be bigger than the paper. Either way, they all stick. So this time, what we're going to do is we will take a piece of magnet, and I'm going to do the word the, and I'm going to put the glue on the back of the word the. So the last time I put the glue on the magnet, this time I put the glue on the word the, and I'm going to cut the word the out because I used the marker. I can see it from the wrong side. And then I'm going to stick it on my magnet. Put it up there. Another way you can do this is to glue the paper onto the magnet. So here's a piece that was already cut out and used, but you can see that the magnet is glued onto the paper. So I can see that I've got some magnet here, and one of our words that we want is over. So I'm just going to write over. onto the paper that's already got the magnet glued on it. And then I can just cut outside the magnet, turn it over, and then cut the magnet and the paper at the same time. So now I have over and it almost fits on. So I could even cut that little piece off if you want your paper and your magnet to be the same size. And the lines don't have to be straight. So now we have over. And let's move on to a different poem. So another poem in this book by Shel Silverstein, Falling Up, is called Shoe Talk. So the words that I chose from this poem are, there is no one to talk with. I'll talk with my shoe. Have you ever talked to your shoe? So you can see I have them printed out. The word no is way down there. And then there's the rest of them. So what I'm going to do this time is I have this round piece of magnet, which will take two of those letters or two of these words, 1 and 2. That's funny that they're 1 and 2, even though there's no one to talk with. But we're going to use these two. So I'm just going to cut them out pretty big. And then I'm going to take the magnet. I'm going to put the glue on the paper this time over the words. And then the rest of the paper, because when I cut the words out, I want to be able to have the paper stay on the rest of the magnet. So here's the word to. So I can just cut the magnet and the paper, and then I can trim it down. And I can stick that on there. And then you can see that there's still a little piece with the magnet on it. So I'm going to take the scissors and trim the extra paper, make it a square because this magnet will hold this whole piece of paper. And I'm going to write the word the, because that is one of the words we're probably going to use a lot. So now we just made another word for the poem out of the scraps from when we did this. Let's check the other piece. So we have a little piece of magnet here, but the paper didn't have any glue on it. So we'll save that scrap for another word. So now we have the word one, and it has a lot of magnet behind it, but we don't really need all of that. Because it's a glue stick, I can just peel it off. And I am going to put the letter O out here on the edge of the magnet. So I can find the edge of the magnet by folding the paper back. And then I'm actually going to peel it off again, and I'm going to bring the bottom of the word one closer to the edge of the magnet so that I don't use so much magnet. So I'm folding the paper over just to see that it's in the right spot. And it does, it fits there well. So I can unfold it, and now I can cut it out. And now we're not going to have scraps of magnet left over. And then we'll just cut off that excess paper. And now we have the word one. So we went over a couple of ways to do it. You can glue your paper onto your magnet and then write your words. Or you can print your words and then cut them out and glue them on your magnet and then cut them out. Or you can cut your word out first. We'll cut out the word talk. He's talking to his shoe. I'm going to even that up a little bit. And then I'm going to take a piece of magnet that I have over here. It's a little bit smaller, but it'll hold up the word talk. So this is another way to do it, is to cut your word, cut your magnet, and then put the two of them together. And you can put your glue on the back of your paper or on the side that you're going to stick the paper onto. You can put it on the magnet. Talk, see? So you can put the word on the magnet, or you can glue the paper, and then you can handwrite the word, or you can use the printed word and put that on the magnet. So there's a bunch of ways to do it. It just depends on which way you find the easiest. So here we have our words, and we can make our own poem, or we can use the words from Shel Silverstein. Up over the town. So here's town. Here's up. We have over. Here's over. So of course your refrigerator's flat, so it'll be easier to stay. Up, over, up, over, and then we want the word the. Here's the. So here's the sentence that we use from Shel Silverstein. Up, over the town. And the other one was, there is no one to talk with. So here's talk. Here's to. There is no one to talk with. We have talk, we have no one. We didn't do the word no, but we'll do the word no. So we have no one to talk, and then with. So what we can do is, see how talk has a lot of extra space on it, plus it has a magnet. I'm going to cut off this space on the other side of the T. They stick to the scissors. I'm going to put talk. Oh, here's a with right there. So no one to talk with. So this little piece that I just cut off right here is paper with magnet. And I am going to write the word no. N-O. So there is no one to talk with. And you can see the other side of talk has a lot of room on it, so we can do the same thing there. We can cut that little piece off at the top. We still have the magnet on the back. And how about we change his sentence? Let's see here. We have the word zoo there. So zoo is a good example. See how zoo has this little nick in it because it was cut out of some excess that was left over, like this piece here that we used earlier, that still has the magnet on the back, and it has these little extensions. I just left it there. It doesn't matter. Everybody can still see that it's the word zoo. So what should we put here? So we have no one to, we're missing the word. How about we do swim? No one to swim with. And then we could finish our poem. And you can write the words as you come up with them for your poem. Whoops, can you all see that? So here's the one we just did. No one to swim with. So that's it. It's pretty simple. It's a lot of fun. And it's great to put poems up on your refrigerator. So let's take a look at we have this list of 3,000 words. It's a lot of words. You don't have to do them all, and you certainly don't have to do them all at one sitting. That would be way too much. But what I do want to show you from this list is how it has multiples of the same word. So here's the word of, the letter, and then the other thing it has is endings, so that you could make, let's see, there's no one to swim with really doesn't have something that we could do. How about this? We go up, we go, let's see, up, we go over, and then we have the, and then we have the word zoo. But we could add this letter S and go up over the zoos. We could make zoo plural. So that's why we have these endings. You can see there's a Y. You can see there's 3 of the word to here. So this list gives you good ideas. There's a 3 or 4 of the word I, an ending of ED, an ending of ING. There's what, 5 or 6 of them. So where can you find this list of 3,000 words? Let's take a look at that. So that is a website, and this is the person's name. Let me get back over here. Okay, and where is it? There it is. She is a teacher in Australia. Her name is Nicole Timbrell. And she writes for a blog page at a website called Literacy World. And in this article, she has a link to these 3,000 words, so you don't have to look for it. So I'll leave that up for a little while in case you want to jot it down or pull it up on the computer. And she did this with her class. They also made in Google Documents, they made a refrigerator, and then they made little blocks that you would fill in with your own words, and you could move them onto the refrigerator. So there's an internet version of this that you could share with people, like via email or something. But otherwise, it's definitely a fun thing to do, to write your own words and make your own poems on your refrigerator. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.